This is the Z-95 Headhunter from Star Wars, like Clone Wars episodes in that series. And it showed up. It's kind of like the original starfighter, like that inspired the ARC 170. This design is a lot like an X-Wing, but it's smaller, it's more rounded off, and it has 2 engines and 2 wings instead of the 4 of each. Also, it's a little more, sharp and pointed in the design, versus the X-Wing is a little boxier. And like it had less advanced weapons and engine systems. And now just for some comparison, I just want to show you this Z-95 build next to the X-Wing Starfighter. It's a modified Lego set from this year. And as you can see, I don't know how accurate the sizes are for like minifigure scale, but my Z-95 measures out about 15 inches, 4 inches high, and then I believe 17 inches long. Now this X-Wing is a little smaller, so in reality the X-Wing would probably be smaller as well. And now if we set this guy aside, and I can give you guys a closer look at the Z-95 build. Now starting off with the center area, we have a small little cockpit for single pilot. It's got like some basic control panels and like this flat little seat, just some space for a pilot to sit. Moving back from that, just the center middle of the build has just kind of this rounded off fancy like curved white block to it that I made using these 3 bricks angled certain way, and that just gives it the shape of like a dome on the back of that resolves into the rear of the ship. Along the side of the cockpit and back of the ship are these little 2 black curved bits. I'm not really sure what they're for, but I decided to recreate them in this design, and it turned out pretty well. I'm happy with it, and I love how it creates that shape around the center. Now to take another look at the front, moving forward, I just settled for used in like lots of starfighters and stuff, and on the Lego set from a while ago they have the same design with one of these pieces there. Along the sides I just have a little bit of like bricks and this one modified like reverse curve brick on there with just some gray plates, and then the bottom is mostly just completely simple brick built. Now also we have the little wing attachment onto the front, and I built that with the white pieces instead of the red for the color scheme. I just wanted to change it up a bit, and it just makes more sense looking simple like this with the paint that I did versus the paint on a lot of the other starfighters. So I just colored it that way. Now taking a look underneath the front, I'm just going to point out this landing gear right here. The front landing gear is a pretty simple build, just made with a like black 1 plate and some hinges, but it can fold up, so I'm going to do that right now. And then next up, the back landing gear, same sort of thing, just Technic bricks and a plate that folds up, and these ones are just attached right behind the rear of the ship. In the real build, it's attached to like the engines, which honestly on the back of this thing, and look here from the bottom, you can see that they're just randomly thrown together with some bricks. Not much thought was put into it, but in the real build it would be more rounded off. I just decided to do brick built engines so it looks good from the top angle. Moving on to the wings of the ship, on both sides I just used some white wing plates, and I attached them to the engines and to the mace by just using some Technics little slots, and you just attach like so onto the rest of the build. And if I can get that, there we go. It's very sturdy, surprisingly, and it holds up the wings. I used just some more color for the designs. I kind of added these little stripes on my own. And then at the end of each wing is a blaster cannon. If you can get that to focus, let's look at this. It's just like a bunch of Technic parts put together on each side, and it includes like some thicker rings and then the smaller little blaster at the end of it, just how it is. And then for the engines, I did something kind of unique. I didn't have the right pieces to create any sort of like rounded off engine structure, so I just grabbed some white bricks and I just kind of made a rounded shape for the back, as nice as I could make it. Just like kind of not thinking about it, I threw this together and it looks just fine, and I'm pretty happy with it. I didn't even design the full center for these things, but I could try that, you know, like the plus on the engines that will go across it. That would be a good detail to add. Now on the back I just have the blue thrust coming out of the engine block. Here's the last look at the rear for you guys. The back of this thing is pretty nice. One last thing I wanted to show is just placing a minifigure into the cockpit, because I forgot to show you guys that. Just what it looks like inside of there. It's got a flat white tile on the bottom, so you can just place him in and you won't get stuck or anything. And then closed up, here's this one last look at it. Give you guys a good view there. I hope you guys enjoy this.